president's chief of staff, we saw quite a number of reactions from several quarters. And then today, the PDP, the Labour Party, and a couple of economic analysts as well have actually given their reaction to what they think concerning the ministerial list. So let's start off with the fact that eventually the Labour Party has, eventually responded, and they criticized Tinubu's ministerial list. They considered it clueless. They said recycling of failed, clueless politicians. Apparently, the secretary, that's the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Obiora Ifo, accused Tinubu of recycling some failed and clueless politicians as his ministerial nominees, stressing that there was nothing inspiring about the list. In fact, Ifo said Tinubu's ministerial list has shown that he is ill-prepared for governance. According to him, Nigerians expected more quality, character, dynamism, and result-oriented Nigerians to be on that list. But what we saw is a recycling of some failed and clueless politicians who have contributed to bringing Nigeria to its parlous condition. And he said that some of these nominees played prominent anti-democratic roles in the previous administration, particularly since 2015, which saw the APC government fail in all its promises to Nigerians. That is quite another, if you consider what transpired, that is something to have a little reflection on. That's one particular situation. The PDP responded and said, this ministerial list. But some persons will say when the PDP was in power for about 16 years, was it not the same approach they adopted while they were going through with their own ministerial list? Okay, so that is one of the issues that we're considering this evening. And apparently, so Pilatus, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has eventually approved buses for students of public tertiary institution as well as cushioning the effects of a subsidy removal. We do know that petrol is now about 617 naira to a litre. In some areas, it's about 630. Some places, it's about 680, 640. Just the disparity differs. It depends on where it is actually located. Well, Mr. Darlington, apparently, this is to ensure that the excesses are curtailed. In fact, Bola Tinubu said that tuition fees should not be increased indiscriminately, that they should consider the harsh measures that, the country is currently going through. He also talked about the fact that they were going to provide school buses, school buses that would help convey the students to their schools. Meanwhile, in Lagos State, hey, everybody can say it is good news. Babatunde Raji Fashola has actually made transportation, actually declared that, so thank you very much. I said Raji Fashola. That was the governor that actually resonated on the lips of everyone. Okay, fine. So Sanwo-Olu actually said that buses, transportation has been slashed by 50%. When that information came up, it raised the rancor, it raised the oars, and everyone was like, really? Is there a possibility of that taking place? How true is this news? How true is this particular declaration? Well, that is one way to, I would say the governors are trying to see how on their own part they can help to, cushion the effect of subsidy removal. And apparently, well, on Tuesday, tomorrow, INEC, Tinubu, Atiku, Peter will be there to adopt their final addresses tomorrow. That's one thing they will consider tomorrow, which is August 1. And a couple of Nigerians who are actually anticipating what that would be. Well, at 9 a.m. tomorrow, that is basically what the information will be. Most of the political parties that are contending the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be delivering their final address at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal tomorrow. And they have to defend, they have to give plausible explanations as to why they consider that they actually did win the presidential election that took place on February 25. So, moving back to cushioning the effect of subsidy removal, Sanwo-Olu has announced about 50% reduction on Lagos buses. And this is what he said. Now, the idea is to help Lagos residents cope with the effect of fuel subsidy removal, right? And meaning from on Wednesday, which will be August 2, there will be a 50% reduction on Lagos buses. He approved a 25% reduction in yellow buses fees, which will be officially announced by their union. So some persons will say this is a positive move. This is a development. They already see the plight of Nigerians. But something transpired in Adamawa State recently where they went to loot stores and shops from they went to loot, where they store grains. Every state has where they actually store for emergencies. These individuals went there to loot, and they went beyond that They went to the streets, they entered people's shops, they looted their properties, stole a lot of things. And Akpabio too complained of the fact that there are individuals who just meal around the National Assembly complex, that, you know, the senators and the House of Rep members are not safe. So the thing now is that this is eventually hitting home. Whether you're an elite, whether you are an average or poor Nigerian, everyone is beginning to feel the effects of what is currently going on in the country. The harsh economic reality, one would say that, you know, it is not surprising that we're experiencing this. And the president is to broadcast at precisely 7 o'clock in a few minutes' time. And one would say that possibly this broadcast is a reaction to what the country is currently going through. And they say, or rather, the president has actually patted himself on the back by saying that the Western world, that is, you know, our international counterparts, already patting him on the shoulder, that the policies he has implemented were good ones. For example, the deregulation of the downstream sector, the floating of the naira, those are good policies that will help the Nigerian economy. And so him having to stay on with that procedure is a positive development on his part. But Nigerians it's a different reaction that the people are actually expressing concerning that. Last week, Friday, or rather Thursday, the president and a group of young people actually spoke with them to calm down with his administration and understand where he is coming from. He said that the idea is that subsidy was actually being enjoyed by a few politicians. The subsidies that the poor people were meant to enjoy were being enjoyed by the poor, by the rich, those who could actually afford even if there was no subsidy. And so Nigerians should bear with him. But question is, how long can Nigerians endure? How is their absorption method? At what point is a threshold? Do you understand? At what point will they be able to continue to absorb? The current economic reality is nothing to smile home about. Mr. Darlington, insecurity has gotten on the rise in a state like Lagos, in as much as the police is trying to do their best to ensure that crime is curtailed. There is now broad daylight robbery. There is broad daylight kidnapping. The alternative measures that Nigerians are trying to employ, that is to convey themselves to their various work destinations, that is carpooling, it's now a dangerous feat. Opportunities are being used like that to kidnap people. Ransoms are being asked for. Ransoms for as low as 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira in some instances is what these kidnappers are asking. And it tells you how bad the situation has gotten. So while you're working, while you're about to go to work to make a hard-earned living, you're not even sure of your safety. So these are the issues that are actually, you know, trending right now on the Evening Rush. It's quite a lot. Like I eventually said it when I introduced the program. I told you there's quite a lot happening in the country. Another thing that we can also look into is the fact that on a political scene anyways, is the fact that when these issues come up, it's not surprising when we react to it. So some persons have actually said that Peter Obi is working extremely hard and that they think the tribunal will rule in his favor, especially with his lawsuit against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We do not know how that is, but well, let's see what the result or the conclusion would be at the Presidential Election Tribunal. And that statement was made by a pioneer Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Professor Eluchukwu Amuchiazi. He voiced his displeasure with Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's leadership of INEC during the performance of the 2023 elections. And he stated that the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has a good chance of winning the February 25 presidential elections. And a couple of persons have actually asked this question, that what is the visibility of that? So you have the PDP. So if Peter Obi is eventually able to, would I say, work and it happens to favor him, what about he and the PDP? Some persons have said even his written addresses is not properly put together because there is nothing against the other opponent. You know, it's APC and then PDP before the Labour Party. So will he be done trying to defend himself with the APC? And then let's just say he wins that. Will you now start trying to defend yourself against the PDP? So it almost feels like the two political parties are in cahoots when you're not joining your parties. So it's a lot of things to consider. I'm not a lawyer, but these are the ways through which some analysts have been looking through the situation at the Election Petition Tribunal and their written addresses. So by tomorrow, we'll get to hear more on how they intend to stand and give the fact that the mandate is actually theirs. So regarding what Amuche Aziz said, he said that the prospective overturning of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory and highlighted Peter Obi's dogged pursuit of success before the tribunal. He expressed his opinion that Bola Tinubu shouldn't have been inaugurated in as president until the petitions filed against him were settled. He praised Obi's tenacity and forward-thinking attitude, which he thinks will be crucial in the tribunal hearings. It was quite a lot, but then a lot of persons have given their own opinion as to what they think or how they think the tribunal will go. Some economic analysts too have also given their own prediction, just like he's giving his prediction, saying that the elections that was conducted on February 25, the result tendered or announced by INEC cannot be overturned, and that has raised dust, like I said earlier, from the APC, rather from the PDP as well as the Labour Party. These and more are the issues that we'll be looking into today on the Evening Rush. Once again, I'm Esther Wachiko. You can actually join us on YouTube. Is at VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. So you can begin to send in your messages via that particular platform. We'd like to hear from you what you think about these topics that, most of this information were unraveled today. Okay, so those are and more of the issues that we intend to dissect this evening along with Mr. Darlington, while we'll also hear from you just in a short while. But in about a minute, we'll be listening to the presidential live broadcast of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's hear what he has to say. Nobody expected to hear what he had to say, but it's one of the interesting things about democratic governance. These things are expected. And some persons have given the possibility that, okay, it's obvious that the president listens to his people. He is someone that is more appealing and that he understands the people's body language. So his response by coming on to give the live broadcast is a good thing compared to his predecessor, who was basically nonchalant and did not have the body language of acting like he cared about what was going on in governance. Meanwhile, organized labor is claiming that they would go and strike on August 2, and they're saying that it is to protest the hardship, against the hardship, prevent military coup, and organized civil society are backing the NLC on that particular statement. Although the president has called for calm, told them that it is important for them to do more of negotiation, that there is still dialoguing on the table rather than they commencing on the strike. That's basically what the president said. The Senate too has appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress as well. However, we'll talk more on that while we tune in to the live broadcast of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the
My fellow citizens, I want to talk to you about our economy. It is important that you understand the reasons for the policy measures I've taken to combat the serious economic challenges this nation had long faced. To combat the serious economic challenges this nation had long faced. I'm not going to talk in difficult terms by dwelling on economic jargon and concepts. I will speak in plain, clear language so that you know where I stand. More importantly, so that you see and hopefully will share my vision regarding the journey to a better, more productive economy. The subsidy economy for our beloved country. For several years, I have consistently maintained the position that the first subsidy had to go. This once beneficial measure had outlived its usefulness. The subsidy cost us trillions of naira yearly, such as a vast sum of money would have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security. Instead, it was being funneled into the deep pocket and lavish bank account of a selected group of individuals. This group had amassed so much wealth and power that they became a serious threat to the fairness of our economy and the integrity of our democratic governance. To be blunt, Nigeria could never become the society it was intended to be as long as such small, powerful, yet unelected groups hold enormous influence over our political economy and the institutions that govern it. The whims of the few should never hold dominant sway over the hopes and aspirations of the many. If we are to be a democracy, the people and not the power of money must be sovereign. The preceding administration saw this looming danger as well. Indeed, it made no provision in the 2023 appropriation for subsidy after June this year. Removal of this once helpful device that had transformed into a millstone around the country's neck had become inevitable. Also, the multiple exchange rate, the system that had been established became nothing but a highway of currency speculation. It diverted money that should have been used to create jobs, build factories, and businesses for millions of people. Our national wealth was doled out on favorable terms to a handful of people who had been made filthy rich simply by moving money from one hand to another. This too was extremely unfair and is not acceptable. It also compounded the threat that the illicit and mass accumulation of money posed to the future of our democratic system and its economy. had promised to reform the economy for the long-term good by fighting major imbalances that has plagued our economy, ending the subsidy and the preferential exchange rate system were key to this fight. This fight is to define the fate and future of our nation. Much is imbalance. Thus, the effect in our economy immensely profited a tiny elite, the elite of the elite, you might call them. As we move to fight the flaws in the economy, the people who grow rich from them predictably will fight back through every means necessary. But we are ready. Our economy is going through a tough patch, and you are being hurt by it, I know. The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses are struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were, I would have taken that route, as I came here to help, not to hurt the people and the nation that I love so dearly. What I can offer in the immediate is to reduce the burden of current economic situation, which has imposed on all of us, most especially on businesses, the working class, and most vulnerable among us. Already, the federal government is working closely with states and local governments to implement interventions that will cushion the pains of our people across socio-economic brackets. Earlier this month, I signed 4 executive orders in keeping with my electoral promise to address unfriendly fiscal policies and multiple taxes that are stifling the business environment. These executive orders on suspension and deferred commencement of some taxes will provide the necessary buffers and headroom to businesses in manufacturing sector to continue to thrive and expand. To strengthen the manufacturing sector, increase its capacity to expand and create good paying jobs, we are going to spend 75 billion between July 2023 and March 2024. Our objective is to fund minimum of 75 enterprises with great potential to kickstart a sustainable economic growth, accelerated structural transformation, and improved productivity. Each of these 75 manufacturing enterprises will be able to access 1 billion credit at maximum of 9% per annum, with maximum of 60 months repayment for long-term loans and 12 months for working capital. Our administration recognizes the importance of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the informal sector as the drivers of growth. We are going to energize this important sector with 125 billion. Out of the sum, we will spend 50 billion conditional grant to 1 million nano businesses between now and March 24. Our target is to give a minimum of 50,000 each to 1,300 nano businesses owners in each of the 774 local governments across the country. Ultimately, this program will further drive financial inclusion by onboarding beneficiaries into the formal banking system. In like manner, we will fund 100,000 MSMEs and startups with 75 billion. Under this scheme, each enterprise promoter will be able to get between 500,000 and 1 million at the maximum 9% interest per annum and repayment period of 36 months. To further ensure that food prices and the items remain affordable, we have had a multi-stakeholder engagement with various farmers and associations and the operators within the agricultural value chain. In short and in immediate terms, we will ensure stable food are available and affordable. To this end, I have ordered release of 200,000 metric tons of grains from strategic reserves to households across the 36 states and FCT to moderate prices. We are also providing 225,000 metric tons of fertilizer, seeding, and other inputs to farmers who are committed to our food security agenda. Our plan to support cultivation of 500,000 hectares of farmland and all year-round farming practice remain on course. To be specific, 200 billion out of the 500 billion approved by the National Assembly will be disbursed as follows. Our administration will invest 50 billion each to cultivate 150,000 hectares of rice and maize. 50 billion each will also be earmarked to cultivate 100,000 hectares of wheat and cassava. This expansive agricultural program will be implemented targeting small farm holders and leveraging large-scale private sector players in the agri-business with strong performance record. In this regard, the expertise of developed financial institutions, commercial banks, and microfinance banks will be tapped in to develop a viable and appropriate transaction structure for all stakeholders. Fellow Nigerians, I made a solemn pledge to work for you, how to improve your welfare and living condition is of paramount importance to me, and it is the only thing that keeps me up day and night. It is in the light of this that I approved the infrastructure support for the states. This new infrastructure fund will enable states to intervene, to invest and reinvest in critical areas and bring relief to many of the pain points, as well as revamp our decaying healthcare and educational infrastructure. The fund will also bring improvement to rural access roads to ease the evacuation of farm produce to markets. With the fund, our state will become more competitive and on a stronger financial footing to deliver economic prosperity to Nigerians. Part of our program is to roll out buses across state and local government for mass transit at a much more affordable rate. We have made provision to invest 100 billion between now and March 2024 to acquire minimum of 3,000 units of 20-seater CNG fuel buses. These buses will be shared to major transportation companies in the state using the intensity of travel per capita. Participating transport companies will be able to access credit under the facility at a maximum per annum 9% interest rate with 60 months repayment period. And then in the same vein, we are also working in the collaboration with the labor unions to introduce a new national minimum wage for workers. I want to tell you, our workers, that this, your salary review is coming. Once we agree on the minimum wage and general upward review, we will make budget provision for it for immediate implementation. I want to use this opportunity to salute many private employers in the organized private sector who have already implemented general salary review for employees. Fellow Nigerians, this period may be hard on us, and there is no doubt that it's tough on us. But I urge you all to look beyond the present temporary pains and aim at the larger picture. All our good and helpful plans are in the works. More importantly, I know that they will work. Sadly, there was an unavoidable lag between subsidy removal and these plans coming fully online. However, we are swiftly closing the time gap. I plead with you, please have faith in our ability to deliver and in our concern for your well-being. We will get out of this turbulence, and due to the measures we have taken, Nigeria will be better equipped and able to take advantage of the future that awaits her. And in a little over 2 months, we have saved over 1 trillion naira that would have been squandered on the unproductive fuel subsidy, which only benefited smugglers and fraudsters. That money will now be used more directly and more beneficially for you and your families. For example, we shall fulfill our promise to make education more affordable to all and provide loans to higher education students who may need them. No Nigerian student will have to abandon higher education because of lack of money. Our commitment is to promote the greatest good for the greatest number of our people. On principle, we shall never falter. We are also monitoring the effect of exchange rate and inflation on gasoline prices. If and when necessary, we will intervene. I assure you, my fellow countrymen and women, that we are exiting the darkness to enter a new and glorious dawn. Now, I must get back to work in order to make this vision come true. Thank you all for listening, and may God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nigerians, I'm sure you listened to the president broadcast. A couple of persons would say that this was indeed needed, considering what Nigerians have been going through the fact that we've been experiencing a serious economic dilemma. But a couple of persons said that this is what the president should have actually done before you removed fuel subsidy. Immediately, it almost feels like an afterthought. In fact, somebody says you didn't address the nation before you said the subsidy was gone, even though there was no budget for it. You did it impulsively without thinking about the far-reaching implications. Now you want to address the nation as an afterthought. So here is basically why you have a couple of Nigerians complaining about the policy implementation and the timing it is coming. Like I said earlier, Mr. Darlington, that it has gotten to the doorstep of the rich. They no longer feel safe in their homes. So this is the best way through which if they can actually express themselves. But one would commend the president for actually responding to the pleas of the people, knowing full well that they were not happy. What do you have to say concerning this?
Thank you, Esther. You see this particular speech, all the things Tinubu said here, they are not sustainable.
Why do you say so?
We have passed through this road before. Remember, when Jonathan increased it to 87 naira, there was this labor buses that was all over the place. Remember, there was even a committee set up to manage the fund that will come from there. Where are those things now? When APC came into power, didn't they jettison all of them? So these things are not sustainable. This is not how to build an economy. Ad hoc arrangement. It has never helped anywhere. We are talking of things that will be sustainable. Things that will... Look, if you want to build a 300-story building, it is the foundation that will determine whether you will succeed or not. If you have a 300-story building to build, and you are laying a foundation for just 20 or 25-story building, that building will collapse. That is why the Nigerian economy has been ups and down. When a new government comes, they will begin to tinker with what the other person has done. All because no foundation has been laid. Esther, no foundation has been laid. The fuel subsidy blackmail, I was expecting him to tell us that in the first place there was no subsidy. Nobody was paying any subsidy. The records are there. All this thing that he's now trying to push it to the elite. Who are the elites? Please, who are the elites? He did not point out names. He have excluded himself from there.
Elite of the elite.
That's what I'm saying, and he's not among them.
We mentioned the fact that there are cabals. These are possibly is this
Esther,
referring to?
Is it because he's not in government? You mean he's not among them? Tell me. Let us call a spade here now. You mean Tinubu was never among them? How did all of them become so rich? These powerful people that he was talking, where are they? Why is it that nobody have mentioned their name? Yet you keep telling us that they have enriched themselves, their bank account. Are they faceless? Please, are they faceless, Esther? That is one of the reasons why I find this a speech. Maybe he wanted to pull the rug from under the feet of Labour. Yes, now, because they were supposed to have a meeting. It is from Labour that all this thing would have been ironed out. You called them for a meeting. You did not even come to the round table with Labour for them to streamline all these things. You just on your own decided to make this speech. Meanwhile, Labour is telling you, look, we have an idea of how this thing should be done. You did not call them for a meeting. You now took the decision to make an address.
Mr.
And you and I know that this thing, like I told you, it cannot be sustainable.
Mr. Darlington,
yes.
2 days ago, Peter Obi had, I think, Parallel Facts hosted that particular Twitter space conversation where a couple of these issues were reeled out. Issues on the economy, issues on all the viable sectors that he felt were not being properly harnessed. And he went in depth into corruption on the Nigerian passport. A couple of people feel that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's address is called from there. In fact, during the Twitter space at the time, his handle was seen. He was listening to the conversation that was being held. So the thing is this, in as much as his intention could be possibly clear or neutral, because he can actually feel what Nigerians are going through, it almost feels like some Nigerians don't want to believe anything that he's saying at the moment because of what they've gone through. We recall that during the campaign, he said, let the poor breathe. The Naira crunch, the fuel scarcity at the time, and he promised that he was going to crush the price of petrol. So coming on board to do the opposite of what you campaigned on, I think it took a couple of Nigerians by surprise.
Exactly.
But I want you to also listen to what he said concerning the multiple exchange rate system. In his speech right now, he said that it has been established that nothing became of the fact that there was a highway of currency speculation. It diverted money that should have been used to create jobs, build factories and businesses for millions of people. That our national wealth was doled on favorable terms to a handful of people who have been made filthy rich simply by moving money from one hand to another. That this is extremely unfair. So wouldn't you say that in as much as this policies seem to be drastic, too immediate, almost not thought about, that there was no palliative measure, hadn't the country not gotten to a point where something needed to be done as soon as possible?
That thing that needed to be done, a solid foundation need to be laid for it for me to believe. That's what I'm telling you. This thing he said now is an ad hoc arrangement. I have just given you examples here. There are nothing on ground to sustain what he have just said. Nothing. I am telling you, from where this economy is now, we needed our first 11 to drive this thing he's saying. From the appointment he had made, money shows the day.
Yes.
You want to build an economy, you want to rebuild an economy, and you appointed or nominated this kind of people. who you know the antecedent properly. Even when they were screening one of them, some people walked out. The man from Taraba. Because of his antecedent. If there is a court injunction on him not to hold any political appointment for 10 years because of criminal record, yet he has nominated, what is he going to do? What will Wike do? What will El-Rufai do for Tinubu in this administration? That is why I'm telling you that these things, it cannot work. If you have brought in technocrats, people who are neutral, like when Obasanjo went to go and bring Okonjo-Iweala, Bat Nnaji, Akinwumi Adesina, these are stars in their own right. Mention any of them that can. I was expecting that he would tell me that for now we don't have terrorists disturbing farmers in the farm, so farmers can go to farm. Precious, I mean, sorry, my dear, Esther. Yes. How can you go to farm now? Will Tinubu lead farmers to go and farm? As I'm talking to you now, the people of Benue, where we have our food basket, they are in IDP camp. They are not even in their home.
All right, hold on.
So how will you bring the food?
Hold on, Mr. Darlington. I actually have via the telephone Barrister Evans Sufeli. The status I actually read earlier was what he said concerning the fact that the speech of the president was an afterthought. Barrister Evans Sufeli, good evening. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and then this is the Evening Rush. I need your take on what the president's speech was this evening. What do you consider his speech that took place this evening? How do you consider what he said?
Well, he has made his speech now, but all the things he said are things that are virtually many of what he said are things that we have witnessed before that government was unable to implement.
Okay.
He talks about rolling out bus, for which they have saved trillions of naira. They are going to roll out bus to carry Nigerians. That was the same thing that the Jonathan government did in 2012. And those buses didn't see the light of the day. Okay. They were in the first 2 weeks, after which we didn't find those buses. I don't know why this government is throwing that same line. The federal government does not have competence on transport. But he keeps saying he's going to do this, he's going to do that on transport. Now, they are going to provide loan and transport company will have to pay within 60 months. Is the Ministry of Transport ready to undertake this? What are the modalities?
Okay.
What exactly are we going to do? How will these buses get to lift Nigerians from their respective homes or their respective bus stop to their respective place of work without paying also for the? What about the electricity that you don't have that people need to use fuel?
Okay.
To power their generators and all that. So I mean, the speech is he's just going here and there. He's just talking. As I was in the car driving home he's just talking. He's just talking. The implementation steps are not in the speech.
You know, I read it. However, you did it impulsively without actually thinking about the far-reaching implications. Are you saying that you're not happy with the president's address this evening, considering the fact that things have actually been so terrible for a couple of Nigerians?
I was going to get to that. I'm not happy because he removed subsidy impulsively. He just
buy fuel at 700 naira. He will not tell him that Sanwo-Olu have slashed transport by 20. He will say, "Yeah, go to Sanwo-Olu and let him give you his own bus."
Well, he said the federal government is working closely with states and local governments to implement this intervention.
Where is it?
That will cushion the pains of the people across socio-economic brackets.
Where is this thing that they are talking about? Have you seen it?
I think this is a profit made from the subsidy removal.
But it has not been done.
They said they are going to.
They said they are going to. Look, Esther, when things are obvious, you don't need to push it. You don't need to. We will see it. It will be very clear to Dick and Harry. You see this fuel subsidy. I was expecting somebody to tell us the fraud. Because in the ab initio, there was no subsidy. I have done this analysis. Remember, thank God you hosted me on the 29th of May when he said this thing. And I told you this will not work. I told you. And I was very blunt about it. I told you clearly that this thing will not work. Look at that. He is reversing. All the things we said that day that he should have done. Is that not what he's doing now? Please, is that not what he's doing now? You can imagine. So if you had done this thing before and then sit down with technocrats, people who meant well for Nigeria, people who knows what they are doing, then they will give him. He can even contract or outsource this thing, because there are people who know this thing very well. Invite them, but he has selected party men. People that drag us to where we are. He has brought them back to power.
All right.
He has not even talked about the 8 years of Buhari.
We'll take a very short break, Mr. Darlington. We'll take a very short break. This is still Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, and this is the Evening Rush right here. Mr. Darlington, you were saying we need to call out the phone lines.
Sorry, you see what I'm telling you, Esther, I am very, very sure this will work, because we have seen it before. Why didn't it work under Buhari? By now, Tinubu would have built on what Buhari did. Is that not true? There will be no need for all these things he's doing now. Why didn't he mention some of these things that brought us to where we are? He was just talking as if it was another party that did all these things. He was part and parcel of APC. So he knew all these things. He kept quiet. Okay. Then now he's telling us he's coming to be the Messiah. Is it possible? This fuel thing that has caused this problem, why is it that nobody has told Nigeria the truth? That ab initio, there has not been any subsidy. The cabal sat down and decided on what to do. And Nigerians bought it hook, line, and sinker. Is that not what happened? Okay, look at it this way, my dear. In 2016, when Buhari removed fuel subsidy, push it from 87 to 145, it was a clear statement: subsidy has been removed.
Yes.
And based on that, nobody was importing. Nobody was being paid subsidy. It was an NPC that was bringing in fuel. So since that 2016 till now, whom are they paying subsidy? Please tell me, who are they paying subsidy since 2016 when this was jacked up to 145? You can see now. You can see that lie. Since 2016, all the money they have been making, that they told us they are no longer. So where is that money going to? And they move it from 145 to 162. If you calculate it now, they are making 75 naira on daily. Calculate it with the 60 million. Later they told us that they were paying subsidy on. Please, if you do your calculation, you will see what we are talking about. Esther, if you go and check, listen very well, to tell you the fraud these people have been subjecting Nigerians to. It is on good authority that if you refine 450,000 barrels of fuel, crude oil, which they take abroad, it will give you 33,210,000 liters of fuel. That is only fuel, PMS. The diesel, nobody have talked about it. The jet air, nobody have talked about it. And then they told you on the 29th of May, when this thing was, we were told that it is gone. NNPC told you that the direct supply and direct purchase agreement they have with the foreign refinery is gone. So please, my dear, can you tell me, since that 29th of May till now, the 450,000 barrels of fuel, crude oil, which somebody was supposed to refine for Nigeria abroad, where is it going to? Who has been? Is there any refinery going on in Nigeria, including Dangote refinery? So where is the money going to? The crude oil, where is it going to? Did you see what I told you, that these people are not sincere? I am telling you, they are not. Look, if we go further and interrogate this subsidy thing, I am telling you authoritatively. I told you that day that with the figures available to me, I can pay subsidy and Nigerians will not feel it. If you are refining 33 million per day, how much are we using in a day? That means Nigerians are not consuming more than 35 million liters a day. And they have jacked it up to 60 million. And then the accounting officer at NNPC told you that they even push it to 96 million. And these are the things the federal government is paying subsidy on. Something that does not exist. So So how can you not tell me that subsidy every time subsidy? Meanwhile, there is nothing like that. So these other countries that are paying subsidy and their people are enjoying it, they are stupid, Abi. No, they are stupid. They don't know what they are doing. Now tell me, Esther, what are you enjoying in Nigeria today? Mention one thing you are enjoying in Nigeria today with all the natural resources God gave you. Mention one thing you are enjoying now with what I just told you. Meanwhile, in US, there is subsidy on energy. There is subsidy on food.
Yes, there is.
There is subsidy on housing.
On housing, yes. So those are the three aspects. For
God's sake, can't we ask questions? Meanwhile, you have these natural resources, crude oil God gave us. Can you be suffering like other people? When the price goes up in international community, it must go up in Nigeria. Something you have, your own natural giving gift. Why should you suffer because of it?
Some persons have attributed it to a proverb where you go to your neighbor's house with raw yam, ask them to help you blend it, and then you buy it back and then pay for a dispatch rider to bring it back.
Does it make sense? Esther, please, you have 4 refineries. These refineries, they have an installed capacity of 445,000 barrels per day, and none of them is working. Please let me ask you, does it mean that we don't have anybody in Nigeria again that can, all those years that these refineries were working, who were managing it? Was it foreigners?
All right, Mr. Talent.
So you can see why I'm telling you that this thing is not sustainable. It's a matter of time. They just want you to, when a child is crying, they will put sucker in his mouth. When they have you cry and sleep. When you wake up, the hunger will continue. Start crying again. They will now say, okay, let us give him Gary. Since he's crying too much, these are the things, just ad hoc measure, just to keep you quiet.
Okay.
It's not sustainable. It can never be sustainable. I have just told you now, this fuel something that they slash, how will they do it? Will they be buying? Because now they say subsidy is gone. That means independent marketers will go and bring fuel. If they bring it at high cost, they will now come and say to drivers, Abi. Then the drivers will now say government have slashed it to 25%, Abi. Then they will now tell you, Esther, where you used to go for 100 naira, but you pay 15 naira. On whose pocket?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Talent. So we need to call out the phone line 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. You can actually send a WhatsApp message to 0700 903 903. 0700 903 9039. And already we're getting messages. This person from Ugudu, Sam from Ugudu, says, "Good evening, Esther. I did not really say anything new in the president's address. I think the government should have gone after these elites instead of punishing the masses who are the ones that the subsidy removal is affecting. And more so, Esther, NNPC said since 2016 they were the ones importing fuel. So who are they paying subsidy to?"
Thank you,
Mr. Darlington. If you remember, some oil marketers were invited to the 9th Senate and they said they don't have or know anything about subsidy. Esther, we have been scammed for a long time. Sam from Bogodo, thank you for your message. Okay. So we still have where we said, "Good evening. The president only read a speech that was written for him. He didn't address anything. Buhari read more beautiful speeches. Who are the people that are cornering subsidy money? Who are the people cornering dollars? How will farmers go and farm without security? I beg you."
I'm telling you.
Okay, that is it. We have "Good evening. I am Aquamabo. I'm enjoying your program from White Sand. Thank you so much for joining us. We're actually streaming live on YouTube, so it's at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You can virtually be part of the conversation. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Darling.
Which I'm not even sure the medicine is going to be available. You know, what is said this evening are the measures that is supposed to have put in place before removing the first subsidy. Now, those things are now coming after subsidy have already been removed, which I am not even sure if those measures are going to be provided or not. So it's just like I think this what we said this is just like medicine after death. Just like medicine after death. So that's my take on this issue.
Thank you very much. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number for you to call at this evening on the Evening Rush. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, my brother, Darlington.
Well done,
Yes, it's Ishia Uriminata. I'm calling from Madrid, Spain.
Oh, my brother, well done.
Welcome.
Spain, Abi?
Yeah, from Madrid, yeah.
Go ahead, please.
My brother, we're just listening to our president, Tinubu. My children, they're just laughing at me. They're just laughing. Please, my brother, my sister, stand Darlington, please. The two of you watched Tinubu is very nervous. You see the way I was calling money, billion. He's nervous, as if something is not composed enough. Is it because of the strike they are threatening he was going down Nigeria that make him come this late hour and addressing Nigeria?
No, it has actually gotten to the Senate. Apparently, persons are looting from the National Treasury. This time, they went to the store where you keep grains.
With all the security there.
I'm telling you, Akpabio had to complain at the Senate that they no longer feel safe, that individuals, unknown persons, are coming to the National Assembly, that they are afraid for their lives and their property. I mean, it's no longer a situation of ordinary people. It's getting to them.
My sister, that one is small. Leave that one. I listened Darlington last week. Listen, this thing will reach everybody. Leave this. My call they ring every coming from work now. The little money I have, pay my house, pay everything. My friends in Nigeria, they're disturbing me. I feed them. They never reach anything. No, even then, where they will later run away. God bless you, Darlington. God bless you, Esther. Let me give time to other people. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Esther, you will bear me witness. I've been lamenting on this thing. When you say that I'm not diplomatic, look, when you are in the jungle, what are you being diplomatic about?
Okay. 0700-903-903-903.
I've been shouting it here.
Hello, good evening.
I know it will happen.
Hello.
Good evening. I can hear you. Go ahead, please. What's your name?
Hello.
I can hear you very well. What's your name, please? Go ahead.
This is Richard calling from GRA.
It's okay.
All right, Richard, please go ahead. Hello, Richard.
Change your position.
Okay. 0700-903-903-903 0700-903-903-903. That's the number to call. We have a couple of WhatsApp messages here. Please, Esther, we are tired of hearing grammar. Let our leaders be reasonable for the first time. Destiny from Mushin. Thank you, Destiny. Good evening, Mr. Darlington and Esther. Have you seen it? What have he addressed now? Please, I'm asking this APC administration every year they have patience for me, and Nigeria is undergoing hunger. All right. Evening, Esther. Greetings to Mr. Darlington, my man of the year. I didn't waste my precious time and money to listen to your president. Wow, you can win election by propaganda and eye service, deception and falsehood, backdoor formula, but you can't govern by this.
Exactly.
This is what Mr. President is doing, and that is why they can't come for debate to be interrogated by journalists. Don't be surprised if he doesn't come for interviews. With all this is to tell you he has nothing to offer. Okay, he has begged you to please calm down. At least he's more responsive compared to the other administration where the president literally did not even say anything. He never cared. He was completely nonchalant. So people were groaning in silence. But the question is, why didn't he talk about security? I mean, that's a pertinent question.
If
there is no security, how can people go about their business?
I'm telling you.
How can the farmers farm? How can, if these monies are doled out, who would eventually enjoy this money?
In fact,
how would they utilize it? That's the question. He didn't say anything about it
at all. And this is the major issue, including this food we were talking about. You know that in Nigeria is subsistence farming. We have not mechanized our agriculture yet. So these people that are growing this food, why do you allow terrorists and all these bandits to be terrorizing them?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah,
Hello.
good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is.
Your name is?
I'm calling from Egbeda.
Pius from Egbeda.
Yeah.
Our Pius, please go ahead.
The speech we just listened to, asked me is an empty speech.
Why now?
It's an empty speech. Why I said it's an empty speech is that the first instance there is nothing like subsidy.
Okay.
There's nothing like subsidy because I would argue this, and even the president when he 2012 he mentioned there was nothing like subsidy. That subsidy was a scam. So I don't know what has changed.
I wonder.
So there's nothing like subsidy. So all this then he just saying billion, 2 trillion, and all these things.
Oh, well, that's that call. Please do call back so we can hear what you have to say. A couple of Nigerians have said again empty promises. In other words, Nigerians go and sort yourself out, to go and take care of yourself. That's basically what a couple of people feel this particular statement means. All right, so good evening, Esther and Darlington. The president's address is at best drab. He was beaten about the bush and did not address any issue. Real evidence of cluelessness. Regards, Oji from Surulere. Oji, thank you for sending that message. Good evening, Esther and Mr. Darlington. Esther, Tinubu's speech is just rhetorical in nature, just as usual. During GEJ's government, subsidy payment was below 1 trillion naira and fuel was sold at 87 naira. But unfortunately, when Buhari came in, subsidy payment, they claimed to be a scam, was over 1 trillion naira plus, and fuel was sold triple the price it used to be. It's unfortunate that a corrupt youth can't be bold enough to fight corruption. In a saner climb, Buhari NNPC boss Hadi Sirika should be facing what Godwin Emefiele is facing now. Okay, may Buhari never happen to you again. Gosh, Emperor Chooks, the Delta guy. Emperor Chooks, thank you for that message. Hello, good evening and welcome to the Evening Rush. What's your name?
Hello, good evening, Esther. Good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening.
My brother.
What's your name?
Thank you. My name is Chooks. I'm calling from UK.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, nice program you guys are doing there.
Thank you, Chooks.
It's nice, Mr. So, well, basically what I want to say is, what I can say is that Tinubu has some fantastic writers around him, some fantastic, what do you call it, media, when you go to church, hype men.
Exactly.
You understand?
Say something they want to hear. Say something that will cool them.
But there's nothing. And what amazes me is that Nigerians forget where they came from. You see, pre-APC, it was $1 to 200 naira. Pre-APC, it was $1 to 200 naira. 8 years into APC, it's $1 to 800 naira. So, what is it they are telling us that they crashed? They're not telling us, what are they going to do?
I wonder.
Tinubu has not. I listened to that. That's just a fantastic write-up, really. But there's no substance in it. They have not told us how we're going to increase production, how farmers are going to go back to the farms. How there's going to be security. It's just banding. Billion, we're going to put this one in, and so these guys are preparing to loot. That's basically what they are there for. Because all these things he has said is going to be monies that will be disbursed to his cronies.
And there'll be no monitoring on how that money will be disbursed.
Exactly.
On how that money
Whom is he going to checkmate? Who?
His cronies. He's going to be disbursed. Hand men, and they would you will see like the bus program, they will put 1 or 2 buses somewhere, then the whole money disappears. So the Nigerians have to start holding their leaders
accountable.
And you guys are doing a nice job, because democracy only strives where there is good media coverage, where the media put the politicians on the spot. Example, in the UK, a lady became the prime minister, and her policy in 36 days she was out of office. Because the media had to bring it out, bring everything out. Everything you have said, they felt it out, and the whole economy, just the currency was tanking, and it was enough for her to leave office. So it's good what you guys are doing, because we have to start putting these guys on the spot. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am. Esther, do you know why I hated this speech in particular?
Hold on, Mr. Darlington. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Darlington.
Do you know why I hated this speech?
Why?
Tinubu cleverly excused himself from the elites. Can you just imagine? No, who do you tell that kind of story? The elite he's not among them, Abi. Are you serious? How did he become sorry that he had to go to Osun State and told them that, do you know that I'm richer than your state? No, is that not on record? No, tell me. He's not among them. So I should be clapping for him, Abi. The same thing Buhari was telling us. That some cabal, some people. Who are those people?
All right, hello.
Up till now, nobody have mentioned their names.
Hello. Good evening. Name and location, please.
Esther, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
You're good. I'm good. And you?
I am fine. Thank you for calling.
Good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening, my brother.
Okay, my voice is. I think by now he might have.
Known your voice.
Yes, you call back.
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. The truth of this, the whole thing is that we are listening to Mr. Tinubu and we are waiting to hear what he's going to say. He's not just saying anything; he's just saying everything. You cannot save. I heard him say he has saved a trillion naira. You cannot save as a businessman while you are wearing rag. You are dry. You know, there is, if anybody that looked at you will know that you are not refreshed and you are talking about savings. These people are confused.
I'm telling you.
These people are confused, and if Nigeria think that these people will listen to them, let them refresh their memory about Buhari's regime. Tinubu is not going to listen to anybody. He's Okaome of his nature, and that is what he has come to do, and that settles it.
So okay.
It's quite unfortunate. Tell our people back home that they should stop mounting pressure on us. If anybody calls you now on phone, he will tell you the colors of his problem, and we expect you to choose from. We have our bills that we are paying here overseas. Let them manage themselves too. Since everybody is silent, and since religion and tribalism is killing them, let them continue like that. With time, they will know what they are doing to themselves.
All right, thank you. Thank you for calling.
It's very painful. Seriously, very
903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to actually let's hear from you what you think concerning the conversation that we're having this evening on the Evening Rush. And we're actually looking through, the response from the president's live broadcast that took place a couple of minutes ago. That's almost an hour. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, how are you? Name and location, please.
Yeah, I'm Tony, calling from Qatar.
All right, Tony, go ahead.
All right. Like we are saying, this is just cock and bull story. Cock and bull story, yes. We don't have anything for Nigeria. Not even hear about refinery.
I'm telling you.
Not even talk about refinery. Not even talk about security. How can you plant when some people in some areas farmers are paying tax before they go to farm? Do not hear anything about security, how to come security before farmers will go to work. Just calling money. State. You know the same state governors that are trying, making the whole population of people very dry, making people suffer everywhere. In fact, we are just calling and be talking our own. When we talk our own, they will do their own.
All right, thank you.
That is what we are.
Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to actually call, and the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. There are quite a number of messages here, but I would implore you to make it as short as possible so we can take as many as we can. We have here, good evening, Esther and Mr. Darlington. These guys have mastered the act of deceit. I just wonder how long it will take Nigerians to open their eyes to the level of deceit going on in government. Always putting the cart before the horse. God help Nigerians. Evans from Isolo. Thank you, Evans, for that message. Good evening, Esther. Okay. And Mr. Darlington, I wasted my 20 minutes listening to the president. I'm right now trying to analyze how these things he said can be achievable, but I'm still confused. Please, can you explain to me better how these things can be achieved, please? Or they should close Nigeria and everybody govern themselves. Kessie from heaven. Wow. Kessie from heaven. Good evening, Esther. The speech of the president is a customary statement laced with emptiness. It was a clear case of putting the cart before the horse. Nigeria should learn to speak up and ask questions until they get satisfactory answers. We have been scammed long time ago. Subsidy is an entitlement in a scenic climb. Sam from Ijegun. Sam, again, thank you for that message. I think that's the second time Sam is sending that message. Uche from Surulere. Good evening, Esther. Please, how come the president didn't say anything concerning our refineries? Is it that they prefer to be importing fuel?
I'm telling you.
Another interesting
question.
Telling you. Please, there's no hope for this administration. Let the court do the needful.
Can you imagine?
Good evening, Esther, Mr. Darlington, and evening, and everyone listening to VOP. This is Pastor Gospel from Ilasamaja. Mr. President's speech is so annoying. Everything he said is just empty and noise to Nigerians. Let him stop deceiving us. We are tired of all these empty promises. Almost all the messages are having the same tone. I didn't bother listening to Tinubu's speech. To me, it's a waste of time. The APC government have nothing to offer. Those who were singing the praises of Tinubu, saying he knows how to pick people of brilliant minds. Yet, Lagos, the acclaimed megacity governed by those he picked, is the most unlivable city in the world.
I'm telling
with
you.
thugs in every part of the state, with people defecating in every corner. The state with the most ridiculous taxes on shop and business owners, market people down to street hawkers. Like Buhari, Tinubu has nothing to offer to Nigerians, and those who sang his praises, calling him a master strategist, can now see how much of a master strategist he is, taking months to get to the moon to pick and search for names in Mars and Saturn. That's a very long one. Thank you for calling. Good evening, VOP. Did you hear Tinubu say that he has been against subsidy all these years? Is that not an open lie? Was he not among those who resisted it 11 years ago?
No,
I pity those who are just deceiving themselves and hoping that it will get better with these shenanigans. Comrade Godfrey from Surulere. Thank you, Comrade Godfrey. Good evening, Esther. My name is Chukwudi. Nigerians don't need orators in our democratical dispensation. We need active diplomats. OBJ was one of the presidents who introduced technology to some certain extent in Nigeria, but APC found the hand of Nigerians through IRO. So what is our renewed hope? Okay, Mr. Darlington can never see anything good in Asiwaju. No this and no peace. Mr. Darlington, try to see good in Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, thank you very much.
Please, Esther. The man that spoke, you can see all the text message you have been reading. And then Mr. Darlington. Oh my God.
0700-903-903. That's the number to call. 0700-903-903-903. Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening. How are you? What's your name, please?
Collins from Ikotu.
Your name is, I didn't get that. What did you say?
You said Collins from Ikotu.
Okay, Collins. Go ahead, Collins.
Actually, my contribution to this speech is that even in the afternoon, when I called walkie-talkie, I told him that the president is going to paint something to calm us down.
Okay.
Honestly, the way I see it, there's fear in the presidency.
You think so?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, I was asking this question in a political spotlight yesterday evening. Go ahead.
Because in Niger, there's a coup. On Wednesday, there's a court case. On Wednesday, there's a labor strike. And the president does not actually know what is going to come out of the country based on the things he's seeing around him.
You think so?
So yes, I just feel that he wants to just give us something, hoping that we want to hear all these billions.
Okay.
Then we can calm down so that he can collecting the vote the way he wants.
Okay.
There's a lot of a defeat in those things he's saying. That's not a defeat. That's what I just feel.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Darlington, did you hear what he said? I feel that the president is very confident. Some people think he's scared. I don't think he's scared. I think he's very confident on what the outcome of the tribunal would be.
Look, he is not.
You sure?
I have two reasons.
Okay.
Do you know that up till now, Tinubu, who like power so much, have not moved into Aso Rock?
No, he has moved in. He has eventually moved in. He has eventually moved in.
When?
I think yesterday or today. Yes.
Oh,
yesterday.
because of what people were saying about disturbances in Abuja whenever he's coming or going, Abi? Why did it take him so long? Esther, why did it take him so long?
Maybe some cleaning, some renovations were being done.
Okay. Thank God he has moved in. Now, if he's not G3, why didn't he call Labour as they agreed?
Labour is actually having a meeting at the moment.
They are having, not with government. Not with government. It is because of this speech. They are going to deliberate on it. Because all the things they promised to do with Labour, they never did. After that first meeting, where they agreed to meet Labour in 2 weeks' time, that was on the 19th. Before 19th, they took a different turn. They started announcing things on air. That was why Labour boycotted the meeting. And now look at this one again. So all this is an act. In fact, it shows that the man is G3. There is no two ways about it. Because the mood of the country, it is not good enough. Even his supporters, even APC supporters, they are thinking twice now.
But don't you think all this money is his doling out? Because according to him in his speech, he said about over the 1 trillion naira saved since subsidy removal, and that's basically what the money is meant for. All the areas he mentioned are where they want to channel those funds. So don't you think he's already acting accordingly as he
Where is the impact?
Well, that's what he just mentioned now.
Where is the impact now?
Nigerians should begin to...
we should wait. We waited for Buhari for 8 years.
No, now he has just mentioned what this money is
for. We waited for Buhari for 8 years.
Okay.
Where is the impact? I am telling you that if Buhari had done something with the money he made in 8 years, Tinubu won't have this problem he's having now. He would have built on it. Nigeria would have been somewhere. So that when he's now talking, we said, okay, at least there is science. But nothing. It's like Tinubu is starting afresh. And he was part and parcel of that government. So what is he telling us? To make matters work, he has been excusing all the APC people who caused this problem for Nigeria. He has been excusing them, including himself. He said the elite of the elite. Who are they? Are they faceless?
Hello,
I'll be asking that question.
Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, you're on. You're live. Hello. I don't think this person knows I picked the call.
So it is not possible for us to move forward though under this particular dispensation because the signs are there. The people he appointed didn't tell me that we are moving forward.
Udo Lisa Franklin says, Esther, you see, I was thinking that your President Tinubu will come and, you see, because of this hardship, I'll cut off my salary and those billions they allocated to Senate, people will be withdrawing. Okay, I really didn't understand this before. I think he was thinking that the president will come and say he was going to reduce his salary
of the lawmakers.
Yes, exactly.
But you cannot do that. Look at how much they have been giving already. Look at how much. That's why they rubber stamp everything. Look at all the nominees. Okay. Even people with a very terrible record. Terrible record.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please.
I'm Elder Nicholas calling from Oshodi.
All right, go ahead, Elder Nicholas.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Darlington.
Well done, my brother.
I listened to the address of the speech of the president, and I find out that if the three major problems that Nigerians are facing now, the president never mentioned them.
At all.
One is lack of refinery, food, and security.
No, he mentioned food. He actually talked about food. Yes, he did.
Did you tell Nigerians that you are going to pay subsidy for own food?
No, yes, he actually said that he was going to start from the local government. He mentioned how the monies will be broken down to cushion the effect.
How is he going to pay subsidy on food when the farmers are not going to the farm?
I wonder.
Where did the food come from?
I wonder.
Then they are going to import food again because they told us before that Nigeria is okay to sustain the whole Nigeria.
Exactly.
Today the bag of price is
Exactly.
So if you want to do something, let him be plain and come out and tell Nigerians. We know how we got to that place. Let him convince us in a way that we support him. Not using that Ukraine movement again and to use the sense of Nigerians again. Please, that's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
He sat down with the security chief the other day.
Hello. Oh, you're calling again. Can we give room to all? He has called 2 times. Please, let's give room for others to call. All right, it's very important. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh, we lost that call. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Good evening, Mr. Darlington and Esther. My name is Andy from Lekki. Where are all the APC callers who used to attack Mr. Darlington? Let them come and defend their president's speech this evening. Let them wait. If they're so far, just they start. How about Andy? Okay. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Tony from Chicago.
Okay, all right, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, my contribution about the situation in the country, Brother Darlington, please agree to too.
Well done, my brother. Well done.
The issue that is more, I don't know why our government are running out of the issue we have at hand. The refinery is there. Why can't one government? I don't know why we are suffering ourselves. And we now up here every day. I don't get no less than 6-8 people asking for money. Are we suffering for? I don't understand.
All right.
Why did you know this way? Mr. Tinubu is part of last regime. There's nothing that he say he will see as a new thing there. He knows everything. When they say they have to stop the subsidy. He knows what was the plans on the ground. No plans on the ground. So why are suffering our people? How did they feel joy that our people are suffering? Nigeria is really suffering. Everybody is crying, and you know the way, you know, about 60 people, 6% of the people did not vote for you. Why can't you make them happy? We see what is going on in the court.
All right.
I don't understand.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you so much. Yes.
Did you remember when Tinubu called the security chiefs and they had a meeting? And he gave them a marching order to do whatever to end insecurity. Please, since that time till now, has anything changed?
Nope. Hello, good evening.
So what are we talking about?
Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please, when you call in. It's very important. Hello. Hello, good evening. What's your name?
My name is Peter.
Hello, your name is? That connection was very poor. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Good evening, SN Darlington. Please, Nigerians should stop lamenting and complaining. Instead, we should continue to pray that Tribunal Petition Court should shorten the D-Day and help Nigerians quickly kick off and trash out these killers and scammers called APC administration. God bless Niger. Babeji from Oshodi. Thank you, Babeji, for your message. Evening crew. The foundation of a good leader is known by his character, attitude, transparency, and cutting cost of governance from top bottom. Create policies that would change people's lives positively. You don't need vote buying. All right, thank you. This is very long, but thank you for that particular message. Good evening. I'm Lukman from Ikotu. It's good Mr. Darlington knows and sees everything wrong with what the president has done. It's good we have people like Mr. Darlington who criticize the government. At least it keeps the government on their toes. But it's not enough to criticize, but bring up solutions. Finnish subsidy is gone. Naira has been floated, but if you are the president at the moment, what would you have done? Good. It is assumed those in government are listening. Let's not just complain without bringing up possible solutions. I think a couple of callers have actually brought out their solutions. Let me read out this message.
They don't want
Good
to
evening,
listen.
VOP. Precious Esther Darlington and the VOP family. Buhari started by saving trillions of naira with STA, which were eventually looted by the same cabal he mentioned in his speech when he organized the protest that rocked Lagos when GEJ attempted to settle the subsidy issues in 2012. So he didn't support it but fought it then. Secondly, this is the fourth broadcast he's making since he took over in the last 2 months without mentioning corruption. Talk less of how he would fight corruption. Refinery were not mentioned. Mr. Tinubu and his people are actually very jittery because of an obvious atmosphere of uncertainty. That's Uche from Olodi Akpakpa. I think we'll need to round off the evening rush this time around. Mr. Darlington, what do you have to say?
Now,
oh, sorry, let me take this call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Can you project a little? Can you increase your voice? Like make it louder?
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. What's your name, please?
My name is Prince from Oshodi.
All right, please go ahead.
Mr. Darlington, I greet you.
Well done, my brother.
My own kindly suggestion. If President is saying that this kind of billion, please, they should take that money back to fuel.
Okay.
If that fuel, the price of fuel, buy to 50 naira per liter. We take about electricity. Make us free electricity. Make us free school.
All right.
Free is okay for us.
All right.
That billion, they should put it there. Nigeria will be okay.
Thank you very much. Mr.
Now,
Dance, what's your final take, please?
Good. Remember, I made a suggestion here on insecurity. Because the greatest problem of Nigeria today on food is this Fulani herdsmen that are disturbing farmers. And I said Buhari had the opportunity, a lifetime opportunity, to resettle his people. There are vast land in the north. Niger State have called them, come, we have land for you. What is it called? Akano State did the same. Kogi did the same. Yet, instead of Buhari to do that, he left them to be terrorizing farmers. How can we have food? I have said it here. There is no suggestion I have not made. And I said, if you want to move with the way the economy is now, you need our first 11. Go outside here, go and shop for them. Obasanjo did it, for God's sake. That was how he was able to build the economy. And people were able to listen to him and remove the money we are owing. Can these people, with what they are doing on ground, can anybody listen to them if they go abroad? So you can see there's a problem here. So anybody that say we have not made suggestion, that means you have not been listening to me. It is unfair to say that we have not been making suggestions. It's not that they are not listening. They look at the crop of people they brought into government now. All of them they have come to a mass word against the next election. That is what they have come to do. They are taking a cue from what Buhari did. Tinubu said he was coming to consolidate what Buhari did, and he's doing it big time without thinking about it. So anybody that says we are not be making, that person have not been listening. If you say we are not making suggestions, then they suggest something better.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington, for your input on the evening rush. This evening, thank you for all of you who have actually called in on the program. I do know that we're closing off early before time, but well, it's part of the job. Thank you for your recommendations, for your input on the program. Trust me, this conversation will definitely continue on the front pages tomorrow with Mary Onaife, on the breakfast program. Tomorrow morning, the front page review. My name is Esther Mwachko. Once again, Mr. Darlington, thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Is at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That's VOP 903 FM on YouTube. And across our social media handles is at a Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Have yourself an amazing evening. See you tomorrow.
This